Welcome to the world of calculus. Today, we are exploring the concept of limits. Limits are the foundational bedrock upon which all of calculus is built. They allow us to understand and define the behavior of functions at specific points, even when those points are tricky or undefined. Let's begin our journey into understanding how we approach values without necessarily reaching them. Imagine you are walking towards a closed door. You can step halfway there, then halfway again, and halfway again. You are getting infinitely close to the door. You can get as close as you want, but strictly speaking, you never have to actually touch it. In mathematics, a limit asks the question, where is the function going? It cares about the journey and the trend, rather than the final destination point itself. You might wonder, why can't we just plug the number into the function? Look at this example. If we substitute x equals 1 into this fraction, we get 0 divided by 0. In math, this is undefined. It's a disaster. However, if you look at the graph, the line clearly approaches a specific height. Limits give us the tools to find this intended value, which in this case is 2, even though the function is broken at that exact spot. Here is how we write it down. This symbol is read as the limit of f of x as x approaches c equals L. The lim stands for limit. The part below it tells us what variable is moving and where it is going. The function is what we are observing, and L is the value we expect to see. It is a precise way of saying, as x gets closer and closer to c, the function gets closer and closer to L. We can approach a number from two directions. The left-hand limit, denoted with a little minus sign, looks at what happens as we come from numbers smaller than our target. The right-hand limit, with a plus sign, looks at the approach from numbers larger than our target. For a normal, smooth path, these two approaches will point to the same location. This is the golden rule. For a limit to strictly exist at a point, the left-hand limit must equal the right-hand limit. The two paths must meet up. If you walk along the curve from the left and your friend walks from the right, you should be able to high-five at the target x value. If you don't meet at the same height, the limit does not exist. Here is what happens when they don't meet. On the left, we have a jump discontinuity. The left path leads to one height and the right path leads to another. Since they are different, the general limit does not exist. On the right, we see oscillation, where the function wiggles so wildly that it never settles on a single number. These are cases where limits fail. Sometimes, a function doesn't settle down at all, it blows up. As we approach 0 in this example, the value shoots up towards positive infinity. It grows without bound. We write the limit as equals infinity. This tells us there is a vertical asymptote. Even though infinity isn't a real number we can hold, it describes the behavior of growing forever. To wrap up, remember that limits are about prediction, not reality. They describe the behavior of a function as it approaches a point. This concept bridges the gap between static algebra and dynamic calculus. By ensuring the left and right approaches match, we can define continuity, slopes, and areas precisely. You have now taken your first step into the foundation of higher mathematics.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.